being like a fake, knockoff, and it wasn't as good. So, and then what was it? Mad TV. I didn't think that was any good either.
Oh, I loved Mad TV.
Really? Oh, it's funny that we had such different opinions on that. Just
I
like Big
loved
Bang Theory.
Mad TV.
I do have a Big Bang Theory mention in here at some point that you'll enjoy.
Oh God, something's happening. We're not going live on Twitter.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. All right, we're live everywhere. Welcome, everybody. Give us just a couple seconds here. We'll get this.
Damn technical difficulties. It must be it's something in the Ukraine.
It's Friday, WTF Friday. Here we go.
Here's Brian and Lance.
Hey, we're live from 304 Studios in Jonesboro, Arkansas. Yeah, we are. This STSPOD.club production. How the hell are you, Lance?
Do I get an introduction this time?
You will. You'll get an introduction, right. But I first want to know just how are you doing?
How I am. Well, I'm here in the Skittles Jelly Bean Studios in Chicago, because we're coming up on Easter season pretty soon. One of the greatest times of the year for candy. And I am doing well. I'm busting my ass, working hard, but, still always have time to put together a phenomenal WTF News Desk for February.
Very much so.
Even month, right? February.
I hope I'm actually, even month. Actually being able to talk because before we even started recording, I couldn't talk tonight. So, but let me get this introduction down so everybody will know who you are.
Yes, please.
This man right here, he eats hash browns as a meal. Loves tempo changes in songs.
Yep.
And it's from Chicago, the home of the WNBA champions, Chicago Sky. The snark of excellence, my partner in crime, Lance LeVine.
Did you say Chicago? Is that like a Freudian slip?
Chicago, you don't get that?
Chicago, yeah. I'm pretty sure. Down the block from me, it's probably going to happen tonight, So, but
I actually
thank you.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just getting better. You'll have one coming up on Sunday night. We're doing Dynamite. Tomorrow's rolling into Memphis. It's going to be me, you, and Eric. Eric's in, I guess the best way to describe Eric's in bumfuck right now. So we're hoping he's able to be on the show. And I have an introduction for you and Eric for Sunday.
Nice.
So it should be fun.
Because Eric doesn't have much going on, So, I mean,
he's
put together an introduction.
He's on vacation.
No catchphrase, Eric. So.
He's on vacation, and he has some kind of, I think he has aluminum foil.
Yeah.
And, an antenna trying to get the pay-per-view. So there you go.
And he's probably reading Lady Macbeth as we speak. Inside joke.
Insider, because we're insiders. Let me talk about the business real quick, as I always do on WTF. 360% over last February.
Awesome.
In listens. 281% increase so far over 2021. Thank you, guys. Thank you. We cannot tell you how much.
Enough, yes.
It's crazy. So we set a new record, 33% more than we set last month, which was a new record. I feel like Matt Coon there for a new record every week. But no, I'm excited. I'm excited that at the end of the year, we don't ever reveal numbers, but the reason why is because it's always been kind of medium. Like it's been good, but it's not been. When we reach a certain milestone, I'm going to be really, really just bragging about it. So let's just say that. I want to go over the top three besides rolling into info episodes. Last month was Owen Hart, Cassette Wrestling News that went on the main feed. OTO Hall of Fame issue. Number 2 and the number 1. I know this is going to surprise you, Lance, but it was WTF January. It is
excellent. Back where it belongs, in first place. Back where it belongs.
Always.
And do you know the WTF is the call letters for the news desk? I need to make sure everybody knows that. We need shirts. We need WTF shirts. More of them if we already have them. I don't even know. But we need more shirts.
Yeah. Well,
that show the call letters. Like that's the TV channel. That's what we're talking about.
We're
just talking about classic TV. So
do I have to give you extra for that?
Yeah, I'm gonna need some extra ramen and throw in a couple extra nickels my way, like manhole covers.
I don't even know if they have.
They don't. Really, do they still? Yeah, do they still make nickels? Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. So. We do honorable mentions after this, and we kind of like get real loose. So if you're a Patreon member, then
because these rules are so restricting, I can't take these rules.
Don't let me take my Foley shirt off. So we do that. If you are not part of Patreon, then why not? It's only $5. We have the most Patreon members we ever have, and cash-wise, most we've ever had in the history of the podcast these last 2 months. So thank you guys. Like I said, a 3-day weekend, WTF right now, rolling into Memphis tomorrow, and Dynamite. The thing about Patreon, you don't have to listen to the commercials, and you get it as soon as it's done. I just send it through an equalizer that equalizes everything, and then I just put it on so you get all the mess ups, screw ups, or whatever. And like
no mess ups on my part. No mess ups on my part. Wait, I thought you were going to say you sent it.
Wait, now you had a record store. Yeah, you had a record store this weekend. Before I say it, you couldn't say Appetite for Destruction.
Appetite for Destruction.
What was the deal?
Yeah. Spoiler alert, it's an Appetite for Destruction. It's a Guns N' Roses episode of the record store this week. So if you haven't listened to it yet, go back and listen to it. It's not necessarily about the actual Appetite for Destruction. It's about the deluxe re-release of the album. So you'll find some interesting songs on there that never were on the original album. So it's a fun episode for sure.
Love the
and
episode.
A reveling Patreon with the two song-alike songs.
Oh my God. It was.
Wasn't that weird?
When you wrote down what it was, guys
you probably thought, oh, hell no. You know?
Yes, exactly what I thought. I said, man, he's done lost his mind again. Yeah. And then I listened to it and I was like, that is the same guitar riff right there in the middle during the I was just
really interesting. Really interesting.
Yeah. I never heard it. We never seen anyone else compare those two songs. But,
They may have, but I know I heard it, so I had to say it.
Yeah. All right, let's get started, man.
All
Tell
right.
me what we're doing.
We are right here in the Skittles Jelly Bean Studios. We're doing the WTF News Desk for February of 2022. It's an even month as far as I'm aware. I don't know, but we're going to start where we normally do, which is the stipulation match at number 10. We're going to DDT, Brian. DDT.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Weird.
I know. It's hard to believe. So it's the Ultimate Tag League 2022 card in Numazu. So is Numazu. So I think that was an old PBS show when we were kids. I don't remember. But anyway.
Yeah, it was the it was those Numazu, Mexican kids, right?
With that otter or whatever that animal was. Anyway, so February 6th,
Squirrel.
We had the match. The match was 100,000 subscribers to the official YouTube channel defeated Mao, and Mao is all in caps. So it's Mao. So that's how you say it, because all in caps. So the 100,000 subscribers became the 1,529th Ironman heavy metal weight champion of DDT. So that's that goofy title that, inspired the 24/7 title in WWE and stuff. So this Mao, all in caps, this Mao walked into a tripod that was shooting the show for YouTube. He stumbled, knocked over the tripod, and the tablet fell on top of him, and the tablet pinned him. So the tablet became the new champion. One of my favorite parts of the story was the Meltzer typo. I don't know if you saw it, but in the Observer, the Meltzer typo, the quote was, Mao was the champion and he got laid. That was it.
Congratulations,
so I'm assuming,
man.
I'm gonna assume that he was supposed to say laid out. Mao got laid out, but he said Mao got laid.
We don't know. Maybe Dave knows something we don't know.
Could have been something else at the Tramel habitat on a Saturday night or whatever. But anyway, so then later in the card, Toru Owashi covers the iPad to win the title. And so then at a card later in the month, there was a 16-time title change on one card for the stupid heavy metalweight championship. So you think that the 24/7 championship is bad. this is where they got the idea from. So 1,530.
Is it where they got the idea
winners.
or vice versa? I don't know. I don't remember.
If they've had 1,530 winners of this title, I mean, that's got to be going back for a while now. So who knows?
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
I don't know which one came first, but both equally goofy. I will say that.
I liked it when it first started, but it's really stupid now. I want to. It's not a step match, but we do some of the weirdest. I got some for number 10 also. Mm-hmm. We do some of the weird, wild, hardcore matches. Alex Zane on 226 in a death match for GCW in Los Angeles suffered a, get this, ruptured globe of the eye.
Ooh.
He had surgery in the whole 9 yards. If you want to see, and I wasn't going to put the pictures up, but search him up on Twitter if that's your type of thing. Meltzer, he went through 3 panes of glass during the match. Thumbtack stuck in his tongue. And at one part in the match, he pulled a sizable pane of glass out of his arm, which was described as looking like a movie scene. Meltzer said he hates glass in matches like this. Well, yeah, me too, Meltzer.
I thought you were going to say he pulled a pane of glass out of his ass the way you were leading up to that.
Oh shit, that would have been good, but no,
that would have been an FE match, I think. Probably.
He had this huge hole in his arm. It was just. I stopped one night. I was promoting a show, and these guys set up a piece of glass, and the glass was like this thick. And as they were wrestling, I went and got the glass and hit it. Because I was not going to let them go through that glass and kill themselves.
Yeah. I was one of those guys that always assumed that glass in wrestling was sugar glass, was fake. And I mean, I'm sure a lot of times it is, like especially WWE, I'm sure it is. But I mean, I feel like everything we see now is real glass, because
GCW,
the way we see these guys get cut,
It don't make any sense.
It's crazy. So, all right, at number 9, after you interrupted with the extra bonus material there, that wasn't even on Patreon. That was free content from you. So, free bonus. So, all right, at number 9, we have Tammy's 204th arrest. So, pretty soon, the Tammy Sitch news will not even make WTF because I feel like this is a monthly. We might as well record this one and just play it month after month. So, anyway, Tammy Sitch arrested on February 24th in Keansburg, New Jersey. Is Keansburg anywhere Blauville, by the way? Is that anywhere?
No, not at all. No.
All right. It just sounds like a Blauville. Come on. So anyway, no word if they found her dog, by the way, because we were worried about her dog last month when she got arrested. So some of the charges on Tammy Sitch this time: DUI, suspended license.
Hold on. I've got every charge, all 11 of them. Do you want to hear all 11 charges?
I summarized them, but go ahead if you want to.
Here we go. Operating a vehicle under the influence of liquor or drugs, drinking with a suspended or revoked license, carelessly driving likely to endanger persons or property, reckless driving, which I thought that was the same thing as 3, but failure to wear a seatbelt. She didn't even got a fucking seatbelt on. Driving, well, this was a good one too. Driving without a license.
Yeah.
A failure to possess a driver's license. Driving without I can't say it.
Registration.
There you go.
Registration. Yes.
There you go. Number 9.
You've been drinking tonight, I think.
Driving without non-alcoholic beer.
At least you're not driving.
Without insurance. Failure to install interlock or drive a car without an interlock. Interlock.
What the fuck is that?
They have to breathe in it.
To
get in the car. She said, "Fuck that."
Yeah.
Second violation for operating a motor vehicle while having a suspended license. All right. So her last arrest was last month.
Yep.
And now she's back in the news.
So is there a difference between suspended license and no license? It sounds like that's.
I don't know. There's like 3 or 4 of these sound the same, but I just thought it was hilarious.
And no license, and then careless driving and reckless driving. I'm like, okay, some lawyer is going to combine those two and get one of those charges thrown out. So anyway, just same old with Tammy Sitch. Her only comment that I saw was, quote, "Don't believe the media." So at this point, take her fucking keys away. Why are her keys still in her possession? How is she still able to get behind a fucking vehicle, a steering wheel at this point? So anyway, Tammy Sitch, insanely at number 9 once again this month.
See, I can't say the word.
Right.
Oh.
You've been drinking. You just do not operate a motor vehicle tonight, my friend.
Okay, all right. It's not alcoholic, man. What are my sponsors there? I don't have any alcohol.
Exactly. So,
all right, number 8.
Number 8 is Welcome to the World, Quill Gargano. So for those of you who are in love, inexplicably in love with Hook, now you've got Quill. So you got matching set. So February 17th, Candace Wrestling and Johnny Wrestling welcome Quill Wrestling to the Earth. So they named their son, Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae, named their son after their obsession with the Marvel Universe. So this is right up your alley. This is like a story that's made for you.
Star-Lord, it's the Guardians of the Galaxy, Star-Lord. And so it was funny because Dave really screwed it up first, said it was from the Mandalorian, and he didn't know what was going on. So I thought that was kind of funny.
So I'm just glad they're not obsessed with either Carrot Top or Big Bang Theory, so at least they named their kid after something that was kind of cool. So I looked up, because you hear about all these celebrities with their weird kids' names, no mention of you there. But anyway, so the kids' names. So I had to look it up in the tradition of Ed Sheeran, who named his daughter Lyra Antarctica. Nicolas Cage, this one's for you. Nicolas Cage named his son Kal-El, like Superman.
Oh, yeah, I knew
Superman's father. Was that Superman's father?
Yep.
Cardi B named her daughter Culture Chiari, both with K's, so Culture Chiari. And then Kate Winslet named her son Bear Blaze, and Alicia Silverstone named her son Bear Blue. So Bear Blaze and Bear Blue, I think they're a tag team in AEW. I'm pretty sure those guys are a tag team in AEW. So welcome to the world, Quill Gargano. Join, you can be a tag team with Hook in about 20 years.
I'm not sure what the deal with Hook is with this other kid. I don't understand
just weird name.
Yeah. And it's according to which universe you're in, that is kind of like Superboy's name too. So
Quill?
Yeah.
Is he binary? Is he non-binary Superboy now?
I think so. So.
Yeah. Or trinary. He might be quadrinary or something. I can't keep up with them all. So, all right. Number 7, we got Jericho and the Kentucky Fried Brain, which sounds like a Harry Potter title to me. But anyway, Jericho and the Kentucky Fried Brain, also known
sounds like a Leonard Skinner song to me.
Could be that too. KFB. We're insiders, so we call it KFB, Kentucky Fried Brain. So promoting his appearance on Fast Foodies, which is on True TV, actually a pretty good show. I've watched it a number of times.
Yeah, it's fun.
A funny little food competition show. So anyway, Jericho is going to be on Fast Foodies. He does an interview. He talks about the time him and his buddy Luther were at a KFC in Japan in roughly about 1995. So Luther was about to eat a chicken wing, and they noticed a brain, like a miniature brain attached to the wing. So if I may call it this, I called it a bird brain. As I was reading the story, I said it's a bird
I get
brain.
it now.
So anyway, so it looks like it's some nuclear fallout piece of chicken, And honestly, I'm reading the story and I'm like, boy, this story is foul. So it keeps getting worse here. So anyway, they take it back to the counter. They show the Japanese people, the employees at the counter. And so 5 Japanese employees had to debate what to do. They finally offer them a new piece of chicken. And they're like, no, we're good. No more chicken.
Yeah.
Jericho and the Kentucky Fried Brain at number 7.
Was that a party foul? A party foul? You remember
party foul? Yeah, that's a party
sometimes,
foul.
Yeah.
Shout out to Eric Kroll.
Not a big deal to me, chicken brain. Everybody eats chicken brain, right?
In the South, maybe it's a delicacy down there.
Man, I told this story to you and Eric in our little chat thing we have on Facebook. And when we moved to St. Louis, we went to KFC and asked for gizzards and livers. And they were like, "You want what?" You could hear them laughing. What? You want the liver of the chicken? So yeah, we had to go to another place that actually did have them. But KFC brains. I don't. There is what is the piece? I think it's one of the it's not a white meat. It's the dark meat. Has these little. It looks like a little liver or something inside the bones. That's probably.
I don't eat any of that junk. It's
you don't eat chicken?
Nuggets and strips for
really?
me. None of that stuff.
Man.
Yeah, I don't want to accidentally eat a gizzard or anything. I don't know what the hell that is. So all right, at number 6, I got something special here at number 6. It's Michael PPI Hayes. So he is now not Michael P.S. Hayes. He's Michael P.P.I. Hayes. So the private poop investigator is what it stands for. So Freddie Prinze Jr., we've actually mentioned him a number of times now on the show. So Freddie Prinze Jr. on his again, why does he have a podcast? But anyway, I digress.
We need to get him on the show. He'd be fun on this WTF. He would really
explain why he has a podcast. So anyway, talking about Scooby-Doo.
You ask him that. Okay.
Yeah, why do you have a podcast? So, and he'll say the same thing to us. So anyway, he tells on his podcast, he reveals the time a WWE Hall of Famer interrogates him involving one of Vince's old-time rules. You know, Vince always famous for having all these crazy rules that nobody can sneeze or eat in front of him, or he eat before him or whatever. So yeah, no sneezing. So Prinze, of course, was a writer for WWE, you know, and now we have the interpretation. We have our own Brian Tramel, or Pat Tramel, as some like to call him, with a dramatic read of what Freddie Prinze Jr. says about this poop incident. So go for it.
And I'm not even going to try to do the Spanish accent. Let me just do this. So,
which he doesn't
Freebird calls me into his office. Michael Hayes. He says, Freddie, I got to ask you a question. And he looks concerned. I go, what's up, man? He goes, you didn't like take a poop on Vince's plane, did you? And I said, what are you talking about? He says, there's no poops on the plane. I said, of course I didn't. What are you talking about, man? I didn't even use the restroom. He goes, well, somebody did, and I had to find out who. He's not laughing when he says it. He's really pissed off. What kind of job assignment is that? I've got to find out who took a shit on my boss's plane.
Yes.
Great story. That's why we do this show. This is exactly why we do this show.
The Laurence Olivier of podcasting over here. So the mystery remains. Who crapped on Titan Force 1 is what I want to know. So I have my speculation. I don't know if you have somebody in mind.
I do.
I have two. My leading candidate, my leading culprit is Mark Henry. I just think Mark Henry looks like somebody who could take a mean shit and just destroy a bathroom in an airplane. My second choice is Randy Orton, because we all know Randy Orton likes to shit in people's gym bags and stuff. So it could have been either one of those guys, but I'm leaning heavily, no pun intended, towards Mark Henry. What about you?
I went and I looked at the 2008 roster. He was there in 2008 and 2009. He started in July. Freddie Prinze Jr. did. I did my investigation, and I have come up with who it was. It's Festus, a.k.a. Doc Gallons. It was him. It was Doc
I can
Gallons.
see that. Wait, is that the big LG? Is that the big Luke Gallows, Doc Gallows, that guy?
Yeah, that guy. Doc Gallows, the big LG. Yeah, right.
The big Luke Gallows, Doc Gallows.
Yeah. You got to get it all down.
Wait, can we too sweet each other here? How does this go?
That's gay, man. Like Come on.
So Michael Hayes, Michael PPI Hayes. So he was tasked with the investigation of who crapped on Vince's plane.
We want to know, guys. If you know who crapped on Vince's plane, let us know.
There's a bounty on somebody's head and ass.
Got a bounty on their ass. Hey, let's take a commercial break. We'll be right back.
Let's restore sanity here.
5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back from commercials, I got some shout-outs, and then we're going to let Lance talk to us about a few things. Shout-outs to new Patreon members, Mark, Brandon, Benjamin, and Paul. Remember, everyone that signs up on a $5 tier gets it all, including Shooting Star, Cassette Wrestling News, 2 episodes a month. And on your anniversary date, you get a free T-shirt, a free Shootin' The Shiznit logo T-shirt. Also, a big shout-out to Chris C., one of our friends. He's a Patreon member, but he had surgery. Man, he had surgery where no man wants to have surgery at. Dude, I feel so bad. Yeah. I hope you're getting to feel better, and everything's feeling better. And hopefully, to Jeff Singer.
Hopefully he had some hot nurses.
Jeff Singer had hernia surgery and still kind of under the weather with it. We hope you guys get better. And real quick, Mr. Mellon, here's the update real quick. So this is our third month of Mr. Mellon.
There it is. Yep.
So I contacted them. They wouldn't let me use their website. And then after last month's episode, I started getting a bunch of phone calls that say like spam and stuff like that. But when I answer the call, all I can hear is like a chewing sound. And then they start laughing. So my lawyer's still on it. Hopefully we'll hear from them in April sometime.
I'm hoping there's a wiretap going on. And it traces back to, let's see, where are they based? They're based in Canada? Is that true?
Is that true? Jeff Zinger's got something to do
with
that.
I'm sorry. Burr Ridge, Illinois.
Burr Ridge.
It's close to here, so I don't want to don't look at me. I had nothing to do with the Mr. Mellon conspiracy. So all right, so my shout out is a reminder that we are in March, and that means Munch Madness is among us, is right here. So the Taj is about to begin, the Tournament of Junk, within a couple weeks. We had a really sweet idea for this year's bracket. So it's lucky number 13. It's the 13th annual Tournament of Junk where you get to vote. There's daily brackets where you're going to vote daily on certain categories and certain junk food categories. And we're going to crown the champion of the Taj 13 coming up in just a couple weeks. So past winners have included pizza, Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, pizza twice, actually. Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, milkshake last year, I think milkshake was the winner. Bacon has won twice 2 years in a row. White Castle. So lots of winners, and there will be a $50 junk food prize package and a shirt drawn at random, one random voter throughout the month. So the more often you vote, the more chances you get to win. So more details.
And this is the third year. Yeah, we did the shirt for this. Is our third year of doing the shirt. Yep. KT does those, and we're going to throw it to her to do. We pretty much just tell her what it is. And she does. The last two shirts have been just fantastic. They're on the website there. Yep. Real quick, another shout out. We have Richard, who was fired. Him and Josh was fired from Dynamite.
Run out of town on a rail. But
Richard is listening to us. So cool deal. Thanks, Richard, for listening to us tonight. You may be the only one because everybody's watching SmackDown.
All right. Is he listening on Patreon?
No, he's that's right. He needs to do Patreon. I'm gonna give him the link. I'll give him the link. So while you're doing this, so we go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So 5, you know what that is? It's time for Smut, which is not what you're thinking if you're a new listener. So Smut is social media uproar time, where we document all the battles on social media and all the arguments and stuff that happen on Twitter and Facebook and so on. So we start with Meltzer versus Cornette, round 204, and then we also have John Cena almost canceled again. So in a story almost as repetitive as the Tammy arrests, we've got Cornette going off on his former best friend, Dave Meltzer, again on Twitter. So in response to the Observer Awards, Cornette has to tweet that Dave's awards are work. He tweets to Dave, you know your awards are work. You pick them. And, quote, if you loved your wife as much as Harpo here, you'd still have one. So I'm like, oh, that was a low blow. I don't know if Dave's divorced or not. I have no idea.
I don't know either. I was just shaking my head on that one. You just don't do that. Yeah,
that was harsh. And of course, when he says Harpo, he's referring to Kenny Omega. So anyway, Dave kind of took the high road, and he deflects it by saying he says to Cornette, quote, dude, you've literally become Trump. So I'm like, and knowing how much Cornette hates Trump, that really had to piss him off too. So I basically on this, I've gotten to the point now where I just sit back with the popcorn and watch these two go at it because it's a lot of fun. The commentary going back and forth. So then we have John Cena once again in hot water for a February 24th tweet. If I could somehow summon the powers of a real life #peacemaker, I think this would be a great time to do so. So, of course, referencing his show on HBO. So people are pissed off that he's using the war in the Ukraine to promote his show on HBO, saying it's disrespectful, and after the Mandarin controversy, when he referred to Taiwan as a country, I think basically at this point, take away Cena's Atlas because he just keeps on getting himself in trouble when he refers to other countries and stuff. So those are our combatants in Smut in the month of February.
I've got to tell you, Lance, that's on HBO Max. Don't get it wrong. No, it's not just HBO. Yeah. Cena was just, I don't know. He was being Cena. He just put that. It didn't bother me, but it bothers me that you're trying to promote your show. If he wouldn't have did the hashtag for the show, I might have been okay with it. But then, I don't know.
I think that's what pissed people off.
Bad taste in my mouth on that.
Yeah,
One.
I think he's almost Teflon, though. I feel like he's almost Teflon.
Is.
Like,
yes.
The Rock is definitely Teflon, but I feel like Cena kind of is too. Like he can get into hot water with things like this, but then it dissipates really quickly, it seems.
Yeah, The Rock just says, "Oh, I was confused," and everybody goes, "Yeah, Rock was confused. Yeah, he was confused. Yeah." So yeah.
All right, at number 4, we have Brian Kendrick's 20-minute AEW career. So, Brian,
20 minutes.
What was your favorite moment of the Kendrick era in AEW? Did you have a favorite moment? So, anyway,
here was my deal. As soon as it was announced, I said, "What the fuck is Tony going to hire? I'm sorry, TK going to hire everybody?
Yeah.
Is he going to hire everybody?" And then within 20 minutes, he was fired. So there you go.
As we've said, another recent WWE release. Of course, he has to hook up with TK because TK can't hold back. He can't, control himself when there's somebody released from WWE. He's going to sign them all up. So Kendrick is announced for a February 2nd match with Moxley here in Chicago on it's announced on February 1st. The match was supposed to be on the 2nd. Less than 24 hours later, the tape surfaces of Kendrick's interviews from 10 years ago saying that the earthquakes in Haiti were a Jewish plot, trying to figure that one out. The Holocaust was a hoax. Nazi gas chambers were used for delousing and not for murder, and that the Sandy Hook school shooting was a hoax. So these are some of the crackpot, whack job, claims that he had 10 years ago. So TK immediately cancels him. Kendrick apologizes, says those were never his beliefs. So I'm like, so wait, if I were to say pizza is our God and Savior, and 10 years later it resurfaces, am I going to say that's not my belief? So just crazy. Like, why would you even fucking say it if it's not your belief, So on a shoot interview, you're saying the stupid shit, and then you're going to say it's not my belief. So the question is, who released the tape? Because, initial speculation was a WWE fan or WWE released it to make him look bad and to make AEW look bad. So the big mystery is who released the tape, and also the fact that Kendrick, how long will it be until he gets another job in wrestling after that?
We don't know who released it, but we always talk about a tattletale on here. He had a lot to say. My buddy, Bix's
David Bix's fan.
I don't think he would go after him. I don't know, but he did have a lot to say about this. The thing about it is, it's one of those things we go back ever since we started WTF. This is something that we say every episode almost. Mm-hmm. If you post something on social media, it's there forever. Do you really want? If you put a video up, it's there. I mean, you can go back and see stuff that I did or whoever, and you can cancel anyone. Yeah. And if you want a big time job in wrestling, you're not going to get it when you talk about, everything's fake and it's almost like every conspiracy theory he was into. He also said the earth is flat. So there we go.
Him and AJ Styles. So
AJ believes it too, which is weird. It's so weird.
Those nudes that you put online years ago,
they're there. Yeah, there's nothing.
They're still there. Okay, great. Mm-hmm. So I just want to make sure that nobody's eating. Hopefully, nobody's eating dinner on that one. So, all right, number 3, the stunning departures of Shane and Cody, which sounds like a Nickelodeon series, but anyway,
Shane and Cody.
Really, Shane and Cody. Yeah. So the stunning departures. So February 2nd, Shane O'Mac is let go by WWE following reports of locker room unrest after he booked himself into the Royal Rumble, down to the final 3 of the Royal Rumble, and that he wanted the whole match to be built around him. Honestly, I'll tell you, this is a shoot. I fell asleep during that match, so I didn't even see any of the Shane O'Mac stuff, nor did I care to even go back and watch it. So he was called unprofessional. He left Vince no choice but to let his own son go. So that was just mind-boggling that Shane O'Mac is out of WWE. Then, of course, we have Cody and Brandy Rhodes departing AEW on February 15th after their contracts expired and were not renewed. So TK, of course, wished them the best, and of course, immediately within seconds, the IWC goes apeshit. Is he going to go back to WWE? Is it all a work? So he's the first big name that has left AEW. So there's lots of theories about it. Was he a prima donna? Was he a pain in the ass to work with? Money, was there a money offer from Vince that he couldn't pass up? Was he being pushed down the card in AEW? So who really knows? I mean, I've even heard as recent as this week with the ROH announcement that he's going to lead the the invasion of ROH to come back to AEW. So who knows? I mean, they're saying, big spot for him at WrestleMania. So it just stunning departures, both of them. Very odd stories that they were very out of place.
The thing with Shane is he was just a performer. He didn't own any of the company.
Right.
That's been a long time ago when that happened. Yeah. And I guess, when you got so many people against him, I did see that, and it was really sad having to watch Riddle, who could tear him apart, sell for him. And then the Cody thing was just why it belongs. We have strange stories, but WTF is also about that WTF moment, and it was one of the biggest things for us as fans. I sent it in our message, and that was oh my God, what are they doing? And Rhino and I, we do, when we do Patreon, we'll talk about various things, but I talked about this. I was talking about, do wrestlers still want to go to WWE, or do they want to go to AEW? And I said, there'll be those guys that will leave AEW, and it'll start being a big deal. And I talked about MJF on the show, but I never ever expected to see Cody and Brandy leave, and I am excited about him being in WWE. If they let him be himself,
it happens,
it will be good. It'll be good.
If it actually happens, who knows?
It's good for business too. It's good for the guys because the salaries go up. Because the rumor is WWE offered him $5 million. Is what I heard.
That's tough to pass up.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just, like you said, the shocking part is the fact that he is one of the founding fathers of AEW, so to see him just walk away just like that and poof, he's gone, if he truly is gone, that still all the speculation. So we'll see where it leads to. It was funny watching Raw the following Monday after that happened, how they were dropping all kinds of hints. They had Miz talking about his guest who was going to appear, and the fans were chanting about Cody and stuff. So it was really interesting how they were even kind of leaning into it. So fun stuff. But like you said, fun and interesting story at the same time.
Let me tell you. Let me say something real quick. If this is a work, TK and Cody are working everybody. And why I say that is Dave Meltzer has said very strongly that this is not a work. Dave is, first name basis with TK and Cody. And I don't know if he talks to Cody, but I do know he talks to TK. That would be the two people that is not going to tell anyone it's a work. So he actually says it is a shoot, and that Cody, whether he goes to WWE or not, is up in the air. All right, 2 and 1 left.
Dave is on a first name basis.
Then we get loose.
We're on initial basis with TK. We're not on a first name basis, but initial basis. All right, number 2. Boy, do we have the MMA news to cover this time. So MMA hijinks at number 2. We start off with Joe Rogan, his big month. So he gets all kinds of heat from artists like Neil Young, who want him off Spotify, or they're going to walk because Joe Rogan's nut job views on COVID and the vaccine. So there's all that. That's how the month started. Then he gets pulled from UFC 271 on February 12th because of a, quote, scheduling conflict, when he texts John Anik, the host of the show, during the show about the fights that are going on. So just ridiculous that it's scheduling conflict, but yet he still is able to watch the show from home. So anyway, Dana says it was Rogan's decision, not UFC's, to pull him off the card. So, and then finally, he wraps up the month. He's called out for the use of the N-word in a video that somebody releases, a compilation video of Rogan using the N-word over and over again. That surfaces in February also. He apologizes. He says the clip was taken out of context, but then he decides to go after CNN as the reason why, all the ills of the world are based on CNN. So Joe Rogan's big month is how we start. Then we have UFC's Bryce Mitchell, is 14-1 featherweight. He's known as Thug Nasty. He tells Ariel Helwani on the MMA Hour that the government is Thug Nasty. Yeah. So he says the government is setting up the mass school shootings as a conspiracy. And he says he will die before he ever turns his guns over to the government. So all I can think as I'm listening to this guy is, what a redneck. I mean, this is like, if you ever want to say somebody's a redneck, man, this guy completely defines it. So then finally, and I really thought this was going to be the number one story till the month ended. I thought this was going to be the number one story. the February 10th Epic Fighting Championship in Russia. I know we can't talk about Russia right now, but that's where this took place. So I'm just saying. So the card, it was a Bizarro MMA card that you found. This was the best thing ever. I'm begging you, you've got to put this YouTube clip, you've got to attach this to the episode so people can see this. So the first match that they had was a 440-pound dude, Grigory Chistikov, fighting a female strawweight, Alexandra Stepakova.
So I'm sorry, Lance. I hate to correct you, but he was 529 pounds.
Oh,
so
I'm
there
sorry.
You go.
My math is off tonight. It's Friday night. My math is off.
Hey, he was not thick. He was fat. So there we go.
Yeah, so he was this giant dude, giant fat dude, and he's fighting this female strawweight. And the best part about it is she's, because of the height difference, she keeps punching him in the boobs because she's so much shorter than he is. So she's punching him in the boobs. So the second match was a 2-on-1 intergender match with 75-year-old Vladimir Spartak and his grandson, who's known as Big Iggy Bob. And they take on this really large woman. She reminded me of like Matilda the Hun from Glow, from the original Glow.
Love
so
Matilda.
Yulia Mishko, and this fight goes the distance. So a 2-on-1 intergender handicap match in MMA. And then finally, we have porn star Alexandra Piskin, which I don't know if that's a made-up name or whatever, but Alexandra Piskin fighting Gogan Soltsev. This one's like impossible to say.
Restoration. Still can't say it.
So Alexandra Piskin, who's a porn star, against Gogan whatever. I'm giving up.
You're right,
so
right. Yeah,
the porn star's shirt rips. She's exposed, and at this point, the corners rush into the ring and storm the cage, and the match is called off. So the whole
we had a stripper last month, and now we got a porn star fighting in MMA.
So yeah,
crazy,
so this is you've got to put that link up because this is some of the funniest shit you'll ever see. So at number 2 is all of our crazy MMA stories. Joe Rogan, Bryce Mitchell, and this card.
Bryce Mitchell is a redneck. Okay. Yeah. There's tons of people just like him, guys. They probably live out of my neighborhood, because I'm in a good neighborhood, but no. It's that trailer that you pass when we moved back to Arkansas from St. Louis. As soon as I hit Arkansas, and I'm not kidding, on the right of me was this big trailer with a Confederate flag. Flying high, baby. Let me say something about Joe Rogan. There's been a lot of almost every podcast has said something about Joe and this whole thing. I'm a huge fan of Joe Rogan, huge fan of what he did for podcasting. I'm a huge fan of his comedy. I think he's hilarious. He has a wrestling bit. Have you heard the wrestling bit? I know you've seen him live, but he has a wrestling bit.
I've seen him a few times, and it's always really been entertaining. Funny. Always entertaining.
Here's the deal with Joe. See, I have and guys like, I'm not comparing him to this guy, but Alex Jones is one of those guys, and Cornette's one of those guys too, where they say some ridiculous shit. Okay, I have no problem with you saying ridiculous shit. The problem gets to where, because of the influence you have, and you kind of at that point to where Joe is, or Alex Jones is a nut anyway. But our Jim, I think they need to sometimes sit back and see what they're actually saying, because they are influencing so many people. There's so many people that listen to Joe Rogan, every week. Now I watch clips if I find somebody that's interesting, but he's the podcast god,
I thought it was Joe Feeney.
No, I thought it was Conrad, but Joe Rogan got
I thought it was Matt Kuhn.
Sorry, Matt. You got 2 jokes on you in one episode.
Yeah. So, all
right. Hold on. So, Joe, so here's what we want to do. Everybody's getting off Spotify because of Joe Rogan. We want to say right now that Lance and I, we're not getting off Spotify. Okay, there you go.
We're standing in support of our brother, Joe Rogan. That's right.
I'm not going to stand, but go ahead.
Yeah. No, of course. You might have to even leave the house at some point. God forbid.
Oh, man.
So, all right. At number 1, it squeaked in on the very last day of the month. The best story. Well, not the best story, but the weirdest story of the month. It got in under the wire. Cain Velasquez walking tall, allegedly. So, Just under the wire for February, former UFC heavyweight champ Cain Velasquez charged with attempted murder after shooting a man on February 28th. So it's in San Jose, California. Apparently, he's aiming at Harry Goulart after ramming his truck. So Cain's driving his truck, rams the other dude's truck, and then shoots at him. So Goulart is accused of sexual abuse of a minor who is a relative of Cain Velasquez's. So the bullet misses the intended target and hits Goulart's stepfather, 63, but he survives. So it's just a bizarre story. And so many people are like, kind of almost cheering him on because he's going after a sexual predator who allegedly took advantage of somebody in his own family. So it was interesting seeing the mugshot of Cain because he just looks like he's kind of almost grinning, like he's content with what he did, So just a bizarre story. It's going to unfold into very weird, the next couple months as it finally goes to trial or however it turns out. But just a really bizarre story for such a big star in MMA. Came out of left field. Like nobody ever saw that coming. So Cain Velasquez at number one.
It's crazy. I listened to Meltzer's show about it. Meltzer apparently, is friends with Cain and his family. He said that their kids, when his kids and Cain's kids were kids, babies, they actually played together. So they are friends. He said that and a lot of people are coming out to say Cain, even though he is an MMA fighter, is not a violent man. So let's say this, if my niece at 13 or whatever it is that the relative, if somebody's accused of sexually molesting her, I don't own a gun, so I wouldn't go with them with a gun, but it's going to be hard, very hard for me not to want to choke that person.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's just human nature. Human nature for men, I would say, especially.
Yeah. He was wrong at the way he did it to handle this. And he's got X amount of counts against him. I think 11. No, that was Tammy Sitch. I'm sorry. But Cain, he just did what anyone else would want to do. I'm sorry. That's just all that would happen. Because I had one time somebody just make a crazy comment about one of my kids, and I hunted him down. If I would have seen him that night, I would probably have been in jail. So it was just.
When there's violence against one of your family, especially depending on how close this kid is to Cain Velasquez, you lose your mind. It's definitely a guy trait. I don't know if women are like that, but it's definitely a guy trait. I can see it happening for sure. So, but like you said, probably not the best way to
shot
go
the wrong
about
person too.
Then the wrong guy gets shot. Yeah. But I think there was some dirt on the stepfather as well. So I mean, okay, fine, So we'll see. It'll all come out in the trial. I wouldn't imagine that Cain will get more than. It won't be a slap on the wrist. He's probably going to have to do some time, but I mean, there'll definitely be all the extenuating circumstances.
The guy's supposed to come out of surgery. They said he came out of surgery fine and everything. So it didn't kill him. Now, if he would have killed him, it'd be a different situation. But I think if they do a jury trial or whatever, it would be the jury would go after Cain. So I mean, they would have to pick him. So all right, man. Remember, guys, we're fixing to get loose.
Yep.
This is get loose.
Dishonorable mentions on the Patreon. Stay tuned. Put in that Patreon $5.
And I've got recently this month, or not this month, but last month, February. It's an even month, right?
Even month.
Yeah. Candy Divine passed away, and I have a crazy WTF story. Personal story, personal, let me say, about Candy Divine. It's
not for the kiddos.
Not for the kiddos, guys. All right, same bad time, same bad channel on the best little wrestling podcast in business.
Yeah.
Be there. And as everyone knows, and I forgot to call her today, but I love my mama.
That's okay. I called her for you. So anyway, and don't forget, I have fun everywhere I go. And join us on Patreon in a matter of seconds.